Deep beneath Varun's South Market, a hidden workshop burns with dim green lamps. Gavel says the city will blame Jihan by sunrise. Workers wearing cloth masks fill cheap glass bottles with cloudy liquid. Each bottle is marked with a crude copy of the Aurelius house emblem. A closed-eye messenger watches from the shadows while Gavel Thorn inspects the fake batch. Gavel opens one fake bottle and sniffs the harsh scent. The fake bottles are packed into crates for delivery. The liquid is not Lumisilk, but a cheap bath oil mixed with irritating alchemy powder. The closed-eye messenger says it will cause rashes, swelling, and panic, but not immediate death. Gavel smiles and says fear ruins a new brand faster than murder. A thin smuggler named Vin Locke enters the underground workshop. Vin realizes this job is more dangerous than normal smuggling. He has quick hands, nervous eyes, and a scar across his lower lip. Gavel orders him to deliver the fake bottles to small vendors before dawn. Vin accepts the money, but his hands shake when he sees the closed-eye token. Jihan arrives at the Aurelius house office before sunrise. Dane Holt knocks urgently on the office door. Muriel is already inside, sorting yesterday's noble reservations and supplier notes. The room smells faintly of herbs, clean wood, and the sample Lumisilk bottle on the desk. For one quiet moment, the company feels peaceful. Dane enters with a serious expression and a folded report in his hand. Jihan and Muriel immediately exchange a sharp look. He says the night patrol found strange movement near the South Market. 2 vendors were seen carrying crates before legal market hours. The crates had markings similar to Aurelius' house. Muriel opens the company ledger and checks every official batch number. Jihan tells Dane they need to move before the market opens. Only the founder's batch premium bottles exist under their seal. No common version has been released yet. Any Aurelius house bottle outside Merchant Guild storage must be fake. At the South Market, morning crowds begin gathering around small street stalls. Jihan arrives just as the first customer reaches for one. A vendor shouts that he has obtained rare Aurelius house cleanser at a discount. Curious commoners crowd closer, excited to buy a noble product cheaply. Several fake bottles sit openly on the stall. Jihan catches the customer's wrist gently before she can open the fake bottle. The vendor's face turns pale. The vendor angrily asks who he thinks he is. Jihan holds up his Merchant Guild registration token and introduces himself as the founder of Aurelius house. The crowd immediately starts whispering. Muriel places an authentic premium Lumisilk bottle beside the fake one. The fake bottle suddenly cracks and leaks cloudy liquid. The difference is obvious to trained eyes, but not to common customers. Jihan points out the wrong seal, cheap glass, uneven label, and missing batch number. The crowd begins realizing someone tried to trick them. A young delivery girl named Sora Finch accidentally touches the leaked liquid. Sora starts crying from the burning pain. Her hand turns red almost immediately. The crowd panics, shouting that Aurelius house products are dangerous. Jihan's expression hardens as the sabotage begins exactly as planned. Eloan rushes through the market after hearing the commotion. Her public statement slows the panic. She uses a soft healing prayer to calm the irritation. After examining the bottle, she says loudly that this is not the tested Lumisilk sample. A strict-looking healer named Dr. Cairn arrives from the Varun public clinic. Dr. Cairn declares the product was deliberately contaminated. He wears round glasses, a dark medical coat, and a permanent frown. He tests the leaked liquid with a small reagent crystal. The crystal turns purple, revealing artificial irritation powder. A stern female city guard captain named Marwan arrives with armored patrol officers. Jihan respects her discipline immediately. Dane quickly reports the fake stall, the suspicious crates, and the earlier arrow threat. Captain Marwan orders the market closed around the affected area. She tells everyone that panic will only help the criminals. Clara arrives breathless with Felix and several merchant guild clerks. This is now fraud against both Jihan and the merchant guild. Felix carries his mage guild inspection tools in both arms. Clara looks furious when she sees the forged Aurelius House bottles. She says the merchant guild seal was also copied badly on the crate papers. Felix tests the fake bottle against the authentic sample. The public begins shifting from suspicion toward anger at the counterfeiters. The authentic Lumisilk shows stable, clean residue. The fake bottle shows unstable alchemy powder, sheep oil, and scent masking herbs. Felix announces the results clearly in front of the crowd. Miral opens the Foundry Euro S batch list. The crowd realizes her system protected them. She explains that every official premium bottle has a unique number and matching ledger entry. The fake bottles have no valid number, no proper seal, and no legal distribution record. Her voice trembles at first, then becomes stronger as people listen. Gavel Thorn arrives dramatically, pretending concern. Jihan asks why Gavel arrived so quickly. He says this disaster proves new products should not enter the market too quickly. Several merchants behind him nod, hoping Aurelius House collapses. Jihan watches Gavel's performance with cold amusement. Gavel says any responsible merchant would come after hearing danger in the market. The crowd begins murmuring against Gavel. Jihan agrees and asks whether Thorn and Company would also submit its bath oils for public inspection today. Gavel's smile stiffens. Dr. Cairn and Felix both look toward him with professional interest. Clara steps beside Jihan with Merchant Guild authority. Gavel is trapped by the situation he tried to create. She says counterfeit products threaten guild law, consumer safety, and legal trade. She publicly requests all involved bath product merchants submit safety samples. Refusal would look suspicious after such a public incident. Sarah Finch, still holding her treated hand, speaks up nervously. The vendor tries to run. She says the vendor told people the cheap bottles came from a special hidden Aurelius House sale. Miral immediately says Aurelius House has authorized no street vendors. Captain Marwan orders the fake vendor arrested for questioning. The vendor bolts into a side alley. The vendor drops a payment coin stamped with Thorn and Company's storage mark. Dane chases him through stacked crates and hanging cloth. Jihan opens a small portal step to block the alley exit without revealing too much. Dane tackles the vendor as he turns the corner. Captain Marwan examines the marked coin. The vendor shakes in fear and glances toward Gavel. Gavel says many coins pass through his company and denies responsibility. Jihan does not argue. He quietly asks the vendor where the crates came from. The vendor refuses to speak after seeing a black closed-eye mark burned into the crate bottom. The case becomes bigger than simple merchant sabotage. Captain Marwan recognizes the symbol from restricted guard reports. Dane looks at Jihan, remembering the previous threat arrow. The crowd does not know the full meaning, but feels the tension change. A young newsletter writer named Talia Reed pushes through the crowd with ink-stained fingers. Jihan steps forward and turns the crisis into a stage. She works for the Varen Morning Sheet, a small public news board near the plaza. Talia asks if Aurelius House has an official statement. Miral worries that one wrong answer could destroy them. Jihan thanks the guards, healers, mage guild, merchant guild, and citizens for reacting quickly. Talia writes furiously, impressed by his calm. He states clearly that the injured customer was harmed by a counterfeit product. He promises that Aurelia's house will use visible batch numbers, authorized sellers, and public safety verification. He also offers free treatment compensation to anyone affected by the fake batch. Jihan asks Iloan and Dr. Karen to supervise a public safety demonstration. Citizens begin asking when the real common version will be sold. Felix repeats the test on authentic Lumisilk in front of everyone. The product passes again. Mural shows how customers can identify genuine bottles. Sora approaches Jihan after her hand stops hurting. Jihan offers her paid messenger work if she wants honest employment. She apologizes even though she did nothing wrong. Jihan tells her the fault belongs to the criminals, not the customer. Sora says she works as a delivery runner and knows every alley in the South Market. Sora's eyes widen at the offer. Aurelia's house gains its first messenger. Mural writes a small trial messenger contract. Dane confirms Sora is quick, reliable, and known by the patrol. Sora accepts with a bright smile despite the bandage on her hand. A noble carriage stops near the market after hearing the public commotion. Jihan recognizes an unexpected opportunity. An elegant older noblewoman named Baroness Evelyn Rosemont steps out. She says Lady Seraphina sent her to inspect the rumors personally. The crowd parts because her family controls several luxury inns. Baroness Evelyn asks why she should trust Aurelia's house after a counterfeit incident. Baroness Evelyn says their response was better than many older merchant houses. Jihan explains that a product worth copying proves demand, but a company worth trusting proves survival. He shows the batch system, safety tests, and compensation plan. Mural presents the records with calm precision. Several workers ask whether the affordable bottle will be safe for families. The fake product incident creates demand for the real common product. Iloan says she will help supervise the first public use trial. Dr. Karen says he will inspect samples if Aurelia's house submits them properly. Jihan agrees in front of everyone. Gavel leaves the market with a stiff smile. The messenger says the master is displeased. His attempt to poison the brand has failed publicly. Worse, he is now pressured to submit his own products for inspection. A closed-eye messenger waits for him at the end of a narrow street. Inside the Merchant Guild, Orlan hears Clara's full report. He orders Merchant Guild protection around official Lumisilk storage. He laughs in disbelief at how Jihan turns sabotage into publicity. Clara says Aurelia's house will become famous by tomorrow morning. Orlan says fame is useful, but enemies will now strike harder. Jihan, Mural, Sora, Clara, Felix, Iloan, Dane, and Nella gather briefly inside the office. He thanks everyone for helping protect the brand. The office is small, crowded, and full of exhausted people. Mural places a fresh page into the company ledger titled, Counterfeit Incident Response. Jihan looks around and realizes Aurelia's house is no longer just himself. After everyone leaves, Mural sits quietly at the desk. The closed-eye mark on the crate begins glowing faintly. She says today's victory was real, but the closed eye will not forgive public humiliation. Jihan agrees and places the black arrow beside the fake bottle sample. He says businesses and battles are similar. The first enemy teaches the market who you are. In the underground hideout, Gavel kneels before a tall masked figure. Varric orders the next plan: destroy Aurelia's house from inside. The figure is introduced by whispers as Lord Varric Noct, one of the Closed Eye's hidden masters. Varric studies reports about Jihan,